So at the beginning of March, I was flying from Montreal to Calgary. And so I'm in the airport, I'm waiting for the flight. So the flight's supposed to leave at 8 p.m. At 7:30, no announcement is being made. And there's actually no one at the desk. At 7:45, nothing. 8 o'clock, nothing. 8:10, finally there's an announcement. An announcement that the flight has been canceled due to a mechanical issue. Now, thanks be to God, they didn't want to put us all on this flight with a mechanical issue, but they instructed us to go to the front desk to get further instructions. So we're lined up at the front desk, we're not moving, nobody's getting any sort of instructions. All of a sudden, I received a notification on my phone, and I believe everyone received this notification that we were rebooked on a flight 8 days later. Now, at that moment, everyone had it in their heart of entitlement. I deserve a first class ticket to wherever I need to go, or you better put me up at a 5-star hotel and give me all kinds of fancy food, a sense of entitlement. The opposite of gratitude is not ingratitude, but it's entitlement. In the first reading from the second book of Kings, Naaman is a Syrian commander, and he wants to be healed, and he's going to go to the prophet Elisha, of Israel, and he's going to ask for instructions or ask to be healed. And the prophet gives him a very simple instructions to basically dip 7 times in the Jordan River. Now, Naaman wants something a little more dramatic than that, but that's all he's called to do. So in faith, he does this and he is healed. Now, of course, he returns to Elisha to give Elisha credit for this, but Elisha knows that this is the action of God. Elisha doesn't feel entitled to receive this thanksgiving because Elisha knows it's God. And if we think about it, even in scriptures, Jesus says that we will do greater things than he did. Well, it's not us doing these great things, it's God doing things through us. And what a gift it is, and how often we experience God in these ways. When we're healed of the littlest of things, God is active in us. Of course, we have to rely on doctors and medical people at times, but God is acting through them as well. Now, in our gospel reading, we have 10 lepers that are together. Now, the first thing is that we have a Samaritan and we have Jewish lepers together. Now, they have let go of the divisions that's between the Samaritans and the Jewish people. They let that go, obviously, as they are together. In their illness, all of that goes out the door, out the window. But it's interesting how only the Samaritan comes back to give thanks. Now, Jesus, in this is kind of poking at his own people that don't think that you're the favored ones. Even us as Catholics, we can't think that we are the favored ones. If we only think Catholics are favored ones, how is this really good news? Because there's a lot of people who aren't Catholic. And we ought to not feel entitled to even the graces and the blessings we receive. These are all gifts to us. St. Francis of Assisi, when he stripped before Bishop Guido and his father, and he's renouncing, the system of his father that he disagrees with, but he comes to recognize that everything is gift from God. And I keep being reminded of 1 Corinthians 12:4-7. We've all been given gifts through the Spirit. These gifts are to serve the Lord by serving one another, and it's God who acts through us for the common good. So even if I, as a Franciscan, can make a 6-figure salary, it's all because God has given me the gift, and I have to share with others because gifts are meant to be shared for the common good. And really, as we share a Thanksgiving meal on this weekend, we share it with friends and family, but hopefully we also share what we have with others. So as we gather around the table, Lord, none of us is entitled to the body and blood of Christ. It's gift to us. And as Eucharist reminds us, this is Thanksgiving. We have come to thank God, and God's generosity gives us this great gift. So in life, we can see all as gift. We can see life as gift. All that we do is gift. And continuously give thanks to God and never think that we're entitled to anything.